Alrighty, well, what's happening, everybody? Welcome back to Redemption with Jaden. We are here with the Lackey Grand Prix 15 finals. Jeremy Chambers and Jared Strauss. It's going to be a good game, I'm guessing. I'm gonna make sure that everybody has access to the link here. Hey, looks like we got a few folks hopping on. How y'all doing tonight? Got Emmanuel, Tim hopping on. Alright. Let's see if I can hop onto the game here. Spectate, there we go. I think we're waiting for Jeremy to hop on, but in the meantime, I do have Jared's deck here that we can take a look at. That hopefully Jeremy's not watching. Jeremy, if you're watching, please stop. It's rude. So Jared is playing a Royalty Taxes deck is what he's calling it. So Royalty and Thieves. So just kind of a purple splash. Looks like he's got some Disciples stuff going on in here. So it's kind of just a core of purple, which is cool. Looks like he's going for purple unity with Bearing Our Sin. And then a Thief defense, which I do like seeing Thieves. So he's got Nazareth too. Alright. Thieves with Nazareth feels like a good combination to me. I've been liking that in Type 2 for sure. Alright. Well, I do have Jeremy's deck list, but it's just a picture of it. He had some trouble with the Discord and getting that. I guess I could try to figure out how to share that with you guys as well here. Let me figure out where that could be. Let's do it that way. Just throwing this together real quick here so you guys can kind of see what's happening. I'm gonna flip as I do this, but yeah, we've got Jeremy's deck list here. He's got some Fools, he's got some Philistines, so he's got a Philistines defense. Just came up with that myself. A whole bunch of choose the blocker stuff on offense, a little bit of Angel Splash. So good stuff. Yeah, I'll be keeping an eye on that, and I'll point out things as they come up. Did I get kicked from the game? All right, there we go. Now I'm back in. Okay. Jared had to remake the game, but looks like we've got both players in. This game will have a time limit of, I believe, 1 hour and 15 minutes is what it is right now. I just want to double check that real quick, though, because I know we changed it at one point. Where's the rules? Can someone confirm that it's 1 hour and 15 minutes and not an hour? Where's the smart money at in this matchup? I don't know. It's the 6th seed and the 6th seed and the 8th seed from Top Cut. So who knows? All right. I do not have any audio from them. I'm not listening in from what they're talking. They're going to be doing voice chat. So we're going to just try to make sure that I know at least a little bit of what's going on just from like markers and stuff for like 3 woes and that kind of stuff, where they're just going to be saying it and I won't necessarily know. But if they use some markers, then we can do that. So. I feel like it should be in the rules, no chat thing. Okay, yeah, time. Players will have 75 minutes to complete their game each round. All right. All right, so we are starting right now at 7:10 p.m. Central Standard Time. And it looks like we've got Jared with a humble and a color guard, and Jeremy with the grumbled. I assume that's, yeah, that they're playing it this way. So Jared is down here in the bottom left corner, Jeremy playing up here. Both their names start, like, not only with the same letter, but, like, the same sound. So hopefully I don't get messed up on that too much. Jared rolled a 6, Jeremy rolled a 2, so Jared will get to decide here, which is pretty, like, it seems like it's kind of essential for, or I mean, like, more impactful, I think, for Jared's deck to be able to get to choose to go first, because he is playing that Nazareth deck here. So yep, looks like Jared is choosing to go first, and he's got a star ability with John the Fisherman. Let's see if he's activating any others. Nope, looks like it's just John. I would imagine going for a crowd's choice here. Yeah, making sure that he can get his stuff set up. I would think, I mean, either crowd's choice or resurrection, because resurrection is how he, and the kind of the main way to set up Nazareth right away on turn 1. And it looks like Jeremy has a couple. Oh, he's got the untouchable combo star ability on the opening here, where he's got Peter to play a meek disciple and untouchable to get that draw 2 right away off of a meek hero being in play. So that's a pretty sweet little consistency play here from Jeremy. He does go with John, Son of Thunder, which normally you don't want to see John as meek, so that's I mean, not a questionable decision, but it's a decision. Maybe he's got a way to bounce him at some point here. So he draws a couple cards. I don't know, looking at his deck, his other options would have just been Simon, the Zealous, and Matthew, so might have one or the other in his hand. Maybe doesn't want to expose them right away. Maybe he wants the green out for delivered. That could be it. But all right, so Jeremy triggered his grumbled after resolving the star abilities there. So now Lost Souls are all active and going, and Jared is going to kick off his first turn. Color guard should be good against the Fools. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. So Jared would have to have at least one character out to put Unity on, but the Fools from Jeremy will not count toward color guard. Ooh, nice. Okay, so I think Jared's just running a whole bunch of consistency pieces to be able to get like the right heroes and stuff out early on. So he's playing Damascus as a site. Like, I think he's got Zion in the deck list here as well, I believe. I saw that. Yeah, so Zion and Damascus both here, like both of them can go get Jehu right away, and Damascus can grab Jehu, which can trigger Zion. So it's a little interesting to see Zion with all the disciples here, but it's a way to look at. There it is. It worked out. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. So Damascus to go get his royalty hero, to get Unity for Zion, to then go and get Matthew. Like, that's just a pretty crazy start for Jared's deck. I mean, I think he kind of built it so that it would be that way, but having both Damascus and Zion right away, like, that's nice. Like, Zion, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen. I know that Jared's been playing this deck, or at least a version of it, in the last few games, but like Zion, I'm curious how consistent that is, because late in the game it's just a dead card. Like, you've got a couple disciples out. I don't know. You're not going to get the unity. I mean, you can recur a hero as well, but unless he has enough ways to bounce heroes. I mean, he does have hypocrisy. Yeah, he does have the hypocrisy in here. So maybe that's worth it. I could be convinced. All right, Ends of the Earth coming down. Smart, he has to be able to enter it, or it has to be able to enter from play. And then he's revealing the resurrection in order to not have to convert Matthew, because he's a purple deck. And the fact that, yeah, he shuffled away the Crowd's Choice off the top, but yeah, he did have the resurrection already, so he doesn't need it. I don't think, yeah, I don't get to see Jeremy's hand here, even though it's revealed to all players, because I'm just a spectator. Unfortunately, Lackey it works weird, where like if I'm a player and looking at other players' hands and then they draw cards, then it will put those cards in the chat for all players to see. So otherwise, I would just be in here as a player, get to look at their hands as I want to, kind of reveal them to myself, just to be able to do better commentary that way. But that is not how it worked out. So looks like Jared gets to draw 7 cards, which is not hand limit. So we got 7 brigades from Jeremy, which we know that none of the cards in his hand are fools, unless he drew them off of Grumbled and the draw 2 off of Untouchable. But he does have a fair amount of splashiness in there. If he kept Peter, then that's 3 brigades. He's got some silver. He's got the white on Joseph, the gold and crimson on Zacchaeus. So yeah, fairly splashy deck. But he is running Herdsman, so we'll see if he gets a chance to do that, or if Jared's going to go for the Resurrection plus, Nazareth play right away. Jared did draw into Distressed and Galileans, so he's triggering Galileans, shuffling away the hurling insults, exchanging that for something else, perhaps. Okay, I was going to say maybe Hypocrisy, but actually Judas feels really great right here. He's going to get an extra draw and puts that static territory class ability on the battlefield if he bans him in with Resurrection, which, yeah, I don't see how Jared doesn't do that here. Just play Resurrection before the block and get that value. Yeah, I think, Herdsman is pretty reliable in the build. Or just from the looks of it, that seems pretty reasonable. He's got it naturally. Okay, so that's why the Resurrection didn't come down right away, is because, because Jared just saw it in his hand, so he knew that Resurrection to Nazareth wouldn't help out there. So, yep, Jeremy gets to respond with Herdsman, getting the draw 7. And the search ability doesn't do anything because can't go to reserve, still round 1. But he's got Humble and Shepherds. So, all right, that's if Jeremy didn't have Herdsman there and Jared was able to do the Nazareth off of the Resurrection and everything, I feel like that would have been a bit of a blowout, from the looks of it. But the fact that he had Herdsman is we've got a game on our hands, folks. Alright, so looks like Jared's just gonna drop Son of God right away. Taking the Shepherds, interesting. So I wonder why he did that. He's worried about what Jeremy would have drawn off of the Shepherds there. Or the fact that he was able to underdeck something from his hand that, Jared wanted him to keep. I don't know, seems like kind of an aggressive play right there, not taking out the Humble. No, okay, maybe he's taking out Humble that way. Maybe just clearing out his hand because he knows that Jeremy's got something. Maybe Jeremy was asking for Dominish or something. Alright, so Jared coming in with the Son of God and Second Coming to get the quick 2-0 lead here, and then Resurrection. Okay, yeah, I'm guessing he's just clearing out cards in his hand so that he can draw the maximum here, because we know he has John the Fisherman in hand for a draw 2. We know he has Judas in hand, and then also, okay, if he's going for Peter to Nazareth, then he wants to get Second Coming out of the way. So yeah, that's still pretty crazy. I mean, yeah, that's very aggressive, but it makes sense now. Yeah, kind of locked Jeremy into the herdsman play, and then knew that he would be able to play Resurrection after that, so makes a lot of sense. He had that information. So John and Stable both coming out. Peter, Judas, and John all coming into battle. We'll see if Jared has another good dominant to reveal for John's toss ability. If I were him, I probably would have just hung on to the Son of God, unless he does have another dominant to reveal. Like, he didn't really need to take out Humble right there, but he's got plenty of space in his hand. He's not going to drop to hand limit right now, so he's got 7 in hand. Alright, so Peter converting to Meek. Yep, there's the Nazareth. Getting that universal protect of decks, discard piles, and reserves from look and search abilities. He does have grapes. Okay, he's got the other good dominant, so playing the Son of God wasn't too reckless. I mean, still fine play there. And he gets the draw 2 from Judas, the draw 2 from John, and he's tossing the next. So Jeremy's got a lot of resources, and half his hand Jared doesn't know what's in there, but he can't draw without Judas having impact. He can't search because of Nazareth, and the next is tossed. So basically he just needs to have one more, or like, let's see what evil enhancements he even has in there. He's got not much. Okay. I was thinking he might have like Scattered Sheep or something, but it looks like that's in reserve. He's got Go Away, Goliath's Curse, and Stricken are the 3 evil enhancements here, so it seems doubtful that Jeremy's going to get a block here, but hopefully his draw off Herdsman to get to hand limit there is going to save him here. So Jared adds ends to battle before giving Jeremy initiative. He's maybe trying to decide which deck he wants to reveal. It's like revealing Jeremy's kind of makes sense here, because he actually wouldn't be able to take a Bible Icon card because he's at hand limit, but it would still be able to put Lost Souls in play. But Jared does still go for the value for his own deck, revealing his top 7, putting a Lawless in play. A little unfortunate, not what you want to see. But Walking on Water, he's able to put that in his hand. And notably, Ends of the Earth does work through Nazareth because it's a reveal ability, so it's one of the value pieces that Nazareth decks can take good advantage of. Here we go. I'm going to pop out the chat just so it's a little bit bigger. I have to like zoom in on my eyes in order to see what you guys are saying. Can I move this? Here we go. It still didn't really even work. Alright, so Jeremy does take the opportunity to toss a Stricken here. Not sure who he's tossing here or really why, but I mean, I guess if he has Go Away, then he could play it, but Walking on Water just negates that, so unless he bounces everybody but Peter, but then he still has to get enough numbers. So if he's got Falling Away, I suppose he could do that. He can, yeah, he is running Falling Away, so he could do Go Away to bounce all but one, and then Fall Away one of the heroes. It's committing a lot, but also Jeremy's at hand limit, so if he's getting cards out of the way, then he'll be able to draw more cards, get more resources. So if he just passed here, he wouldn't get to his draw 3 on the start of his turn. So plays a Harvest Time here. Probably just trying to get more stuff out of his hand. Lost Souls can maybe help him out a little bit here. Let's see. Humble's already gone. We got Shepherds and Grumbled, so he can put a Distressed in play. He could put Complacent in play. He's got Darkness and Prosperity. Those are the Lost Soul options that he has. He put Jared's Hopper in play. So it looks like he's just doing 1 Lost Soul. Harvest Time for 1. Putting a Hopper in play, and then maybe going for maybe for Distressed, I suppose. No, he does go for Complacent. Okay, so he's not planning to play Falling Away. I mean, Jared did reveal a Grapes, but I don't think Jeremy cares about Grapes here, so... Huh, okay. So he tossed the Stricken to get it out of his hand, make space. He did the -5/-5 on John, which makes sense. I think that, I mean, if he has a... if John comes in again, then Goliath's Curse can toss John down, I think. So it's a 6-0, right? Yeah. So that it's a smart play, I think. So Sheol comes down. On Jared's side, he does not have an evil character at this point for the Unity there. So, okay, there it is. There's Plunderers. Getting Unity for both Color Guard and Sheol is important. Condemned Thief. Jehu's Sword being equipped to Jehu. I suppose the negating the Shepherds with Son of God that Jared did, I think that he probably was doing that because he knew that Jeremy had like some Fools in his hand that he would be able to underdeck and wanted to stop him from doing that. I mean, like, I'm just trying to think of why he wanted both the Shepherds and Humble. Like, it's, yeah, I think he could have gotten away with just doing 1 there, but probably just doing Humble. But plus, Judas Iscariot was out at that point, right? So shouldn't he have gotten a trigger off of that? No. Judas wasn't out yet because he had, did that before Resurrection. That was off the draw on Herdsman. Alright, so Jared with a monster start here. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 non-lost souls on the table, 7 in hand. So he went through 22 non-lost soul cards in his first turn. So it's like a plus 14. It's crazy. Jeremy now getting a and that doesn't even count the 3 cards in his discard pile. His Son of God, Second Coming, and Resurrection. So yeah, kind of wild. But Jeremy's trying to come back with a vengeance here. He's got he had a full mitt of cards here to work with. You see Guardians from Glory coming down, Peter, Matthew, Messengers, now some defense. Looks like Jeremy's a little bit off the... His cards are a little bit off the map. There's probably playing with... Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we'll just deal with it. That's Goliath, that's John. So it looks like Jeremy's trying to empty out his hand a little bit, probably coming out with Matthew, although he does have to get around to Bethlehem Stable. So, maybe not. Messengers of Joppa is interesting here. I mean, it's like, it gets out Peter right away. What's he trying to set up with Peter? Oh, okay. So Jeremy does have the answer for either Stable or Nazareth here. We'll see which one he targets, but he gets to underdeck Goliath's Curse to take out one of these two. I feel like right now he's maybe okay playing around Nazareth and would rather get the look and the draw from Matthew, but yep, so he takes out the Bethlehem stable. Feeling okay about his situation against Nazareth, which I think is reasonable. I mean, he's not doesn't look like he's setting up to do a whole lot of searching, and he got the herdsman block, so that was pretty perfect to keep up with the value that Jared was able to get with Matthew. So he does do the Meekifying on Matthew, and gonna get to draw here. It will trigger Judas, so we'll see if Jared's able to capitalize on that, or I'm sure he'll catch that, but I don't want to jinx him or anything. Yeah, it will be tough for Jeremy to come back, but we'll see. I mean, if he can hide Lost Souls here, that would be a big thing. Nazareth is going to stop a lot of the soul gen options, and Hopper is already in play. Can see what other Lost Souls Jared is running here. Yeah, so no, okay, he does have Lost Souls. He's got Lost Souls and Darkness still in there. So if he gets Lost Souls first, and then I'll make a token. Okay, well, Jeremy's just going to draw the Lost Souls for him. Never mind. There goes that. He draws 8 cards. Jared's also playing a fairly splashy deck. Lots of dual alignment characters with multiple brigades. He even has ends in here, which, you know, would trigger for 9 on Matthew if he had it right away. But yeah, ooh, and Jeremy does find the Distressed there. That's pretty clutch to negate Judas before he gets to take anything. Or really, I mean, like, the taking would be one thing, but just getting the information on what Jeremy has in hand is would be pretty key. He could do that with Condemned Thief, but you know, obviously doing that before the block and then also being able to take something is going to be very significant. So yeah, Jeremy did drop to hand limit, so it was 8 or more was the count there. And Jared is not going to have a herdsman to respond, so we'll see what the thieves can do here. If he does have Highwayman, he would get 1, 2, 3, 4 off of that. Alright, so it goes with Plunderers, preventing the next good enhancement to take it. It's pretty good against a Meek Matthew. If Jeremy has Authority of Christ, then you know it's not gonna make a difference there. But if he has anything else, then that's gonna be prevented. And Condemned Thief going in probably to take Authority of Christ if it's in there. Yeah, getting that hand information I think is pretty crucial for Jared here to know what all Jeremy has in stock here. And Thieves with Nazareth, it's just, I like it. It's a good combination, I think, just because you're taking away a lot of their potential, or kind of like half of their resource generation potential, and then the thieves can really capitalize on them having fewer resources available to begin with. A Foreign Wives, yeah, that's probably in Jared's hand there, maybe. Although he probably would have blocked with Foreign Wives if he did. Alright, so Love One Another is being taken, which makes me assume that Authority of Christ, or a way to Authority of Christ, is not in Jeremy's hand. So we'll see if Jeremy has enough to work around the prevent and take. And the nice thing about what Jared's got going on is that pretty much everything that he takes from Jared is going to be usable in his offense to some degree on for good cards. He's got Untouchable, which we do know that Jeremy probably had in hand still, but everything else would be playable on a purple or clay green here. I guess Untouchable is playable there, but still not great. So yeah, looks like Matthew could not get it done, and the Thieves held up. Got a Joseph and a Gabriel down, a Priest of Zeus down, which is right into Jared's Distressed, so it's not going to be active currently, but if Jeremy is able to find a Son of God or 3 Woes or something, maybe he can do that just to slow Jared down a little bit. Jeremy does have card advantage right now from a deck standpoint. Yep, so there's a 3 Woes probably coming down on Distressed, I would imagine. Jeremy's got 16 left in deck. I believe he started with 50, whereas Jared is down to 24, and yep, there goes Distressed. Down to 24 with 54 in his starting deck. So a little bit non-optimized, I guess, from an objective standpoint, but we all know Jared gets a little creative with his deck building, so I'm sure it's in progress. And for the record, 3 Woes is good here. Targeting Distressed, he could play it as either because it's a neutral card, but he plays it as good, which in this matchup, I'm a little curious why, like what he was worried about with good. Like I would think playing it as evil to be able to negate Nazareth or Stable or Judas on future turns would be what would go with, but I don't know, maybe we can hear about that later. Then Resurrection Revealer coming down to turn off Distressed for good. And then Zacchaeus and Philistine Diviners. Diviners is interesting. Does he have enough? Does he have anything really that he wants to play there? I don't think that was on the list that he sent me. Yeah, I don't see Diviners in here, so that's a little... must have made a little change there. Alright, there's the Lost Souls. Not really worried about having souls to rescue now, but just in case, it would have worked out if Jeremy had decided to play it more patient, try to go the soul hide route. Probably would not have worked out, so getting the card advantage there was good on his end. Plus, Ends of the Earth can start pulling out Lost Souls, so yeah, wouldn't really have been worth it. We'll see if Jared decides to make a token here. Yeah, makes one for himself. Makes sense. It's kind of a more, or it's a fairly common play nowadays. It's just there's enough stuff that triggers off of controlling a Meek Lost Soul. Not that I think really anything in here does, except yeah, David is Meek Heroes, so yeah, nothing really triggering off of Meek Lost Souls as far as I can tell, but he doesn't give that to Jeremy, and he can also keep some of the other Lost Souls around longer that he wants to. Den of Thieves coming down and a Temple of Thieves occupying it, so now if Jeremy plays any dominance, then Jared will be able to take some cards from Jeremy's territory. Maybe grab that 3 Woes, so that's maybe a reason to have 3 Woes as good, that now it can negate Den of Thieves, because that will probably be a nuisance. Jeremy has not landed really any of his dominance so far, so Hypocrisy coming down, bouncing a few heroes. We got Joseph and and Resurrection Revealer being bounced, but also the evil characters. Wire Priest of Zeus and yeah, okay. I think they're recognizing that evil characters can't be bounced with Hypocrisy. Not sure what they were thinking there, but or if they just picked him up accidentally or something. But looks like Matthew and David maybe also being bounced. Alright, looks like everybody's being bounced here. They're just bouncing all of Jeremy's territory, which that's pretty smart if you've got an ability like this. Like Jeremy is now at hand limit with all of his heroes being bounced, so it's kind of a way for Jared to slow Jeremy down. If Jeremy has a way to go to Herdsman in his discard pile, like with Armor Bearer getting around Nazareth somehow, like I don't know what it would be to what or how he'd be able to do that, but if he was able to, and Jeremy or Jared got some drawing with Matthew or something, then Jeremy would not be able to respond with more drawing of his own. Res Revealer negating neutrals. Oh yeah, you're right that the Lost Soul token shouldn't be there. Yeah, I guess they missed that. I'm not judging the game, I'm just commentating, so I'm going to stay out of it if they miss things. I feel like that's kind of the right thing to do in this case. Just because I don't want anything, or don't want like to notice some things and not notice other things, and for that to be a factor in their playing. So if they both play it incorrectly, unless they ask, if they ask a question or something, then of course do my best to answer, or I mean preferably they'd ask someone else, ask on the Discord and maybe get a ruling from Marcus or something. But alright, so looks like David's coming out, banding to Jehu. So the way this order of operations works here is that Jehu's sword goes first. So he gets to trigger that to discard an evil human. Probably hitting Goliath, I would imagine. So Jehu's sword would go first. And then Jehu would exchange for whoever, probably either John or Simon, if I were to guess, but maybe he wants to draw some with Matthew. And then the ability on the exchanged hero, or exchanged to hero, goes first. And then Jehu's trigger, if they hand discard, or I guess hand or territory, evil card discard would go after that. Looks like there's some thinking going on here. Okay, so Diviners is chosen. Interesting. So, okay, I guess, let's see, it's Territorial Reserve instead. Okay, so we don't know who is chosen, whether it was Diviners or otherwise, but either way, Jeremy decided to discard Diviners instead. So yeah, there goes Simon. Simon choosing someone to block, I believe, I would assume. I don't know. Revealing Grapes to choose the blocker. Choosing Armor Bearer, who doesn't do anything through Nazareth. And I mean, Jeremy probably doesn't have his Goliath's Curse. He doesn't have his Stricken. And his other option was Go Away. So we'll see if he's got any answers here. But yeah, he does have to discard an evil card from hand or territory first on the trigger from King Jehu. Jehu with Nazareth is pretty good too. I mean, kind of works alongside the Thieves. Just a very, so it kind of seems like the idea of his deck here is going to just pop off turn one with Matthew, get that momentum going, like Matthew, Resurrection, that kind of stuff, and then get the Nazareth in play, and then the rest of the game is just kind of playing the control style deck. yeah, that seems pretty good. And I like the way that Jared builds decks, and this one is no exception. It's a little bit out of the ordinary. Like I think I don't know, feels like there could be some potential to whiff on some things here, but I mean, this game has definitely demonstrated its power. So Foolish Edomites is being discarded to Jehu's Trigger. That's, I guess, a benefit of running the Philistines, is that Jeremy has some cards that he's able to throw away without feeling too bad about it, especially with both of his Shepherds and Grumbled gone to try to get any value with that. So before Jeremy does anything, Jared adds Ends of the Earth to battle, grabs a Darkness into play, which doesn't really do anything, but he's able to also take Virgin Birth. Also not the most effective, but it is a Bible Icon card. I'm guessing that was his only choice, or at least one of very few. So it doesn't really do much through Nazareth here. And he doesn't have any... he bounced his Peter, which I guess he could put back down as green so that he can play it, but yeah, probably not going to happen. So I'm guessing that Jeremy doesn't have anything here. I mean, he could, if he has Falling Away, he could play that right now on David because Simon is negating Lost Souls. But we know that Jared has some negates here. He's got, oh yeah, I was gonna say Walking on Water, but this one's even better. So yeah, Go Away was trying to bounce both David and Simon by the looks of it. Special Initiative, Nexus Solomon comes down, and man, that value is pretty good. Getting the negate and the underdeck here. Hey, if this card was in gold, that would be awesome. But it's in purple, so oh well. Jared's certainly putting it to good use here. And we'll see what gets underdecked here. I'm going to guess Zacchaeus, just because I doubt that there's a whole lot of... okay, Satan's Seat. Even worse. Oh man, that really... yep, that's rough for Jeremy. I didn't even realize he was playing Satan's Seat. Oh yeah, it's to the top of his utility stuff there. He's got Satan's Seat, and then also he's running Tribute, which yeah, that makes sense for giving the Fools, and then Satan's Seat deals with stuff like Color Guard, and also Nazareth, of course, and Bethlehem Stable, also nice. So yeah, Go Away gets negated, Satan's Seat gets underdecked. Kind of a rough sequence of events there for Jeremy. And Jared gets the Lost Soul on turn 2 here, now putting him ahead 4-0. So Jeremy does have 13 in hand, so he's going to be able to draw his 3. But we'll see if he can mount some sort of recovery or comeback here. It's going to be tough with Den of Thieves occupied, the Nazareth out, Judas still being negated by Distressed, so that's good. But yeah, tough sequence here. And the other problem is that now that Jeremy's heroes have been bounced, Jeremy is going to have to keep 3 woes on Distressed in order for his Resurrection Revealer to work. So it'll be interesting to see if he moves it to Den of Thieves just so he can play down the dominance without having to worry about that, or if he leaves it on Distressed so that he can get into neutrals negated. Looks like Jared doesn't really have a whole lot as far as neutrals that are consequential at this point. Like he's got 20 shekels and David's Harp are the 2 main ones, looks like. So negating Jared's neutrals doesn't seem like it's really matters here, other than negating Color Guard, I suppose. But Jeremy drew his 3, and we haven't seen a Fool come down yet, so that's tough. Alright, so it looks like Jeremy's moving to prep. He's keeping 3 woes on Distressed, putting down Guardians and Resurrection Revealer to get that online, negating neutrals. And he's just going to have to hope for the best with this Den of Thieves, I guess. It's like he's definitely going to need to start playing some dominance here if he's going to mount some sort of comeback. So we'll see. Having the Joseph is maybe kind of nice, because if Jared does use a search ability, Joseph can bounce the Temple Thieves out of Den, turn off the occupied ability there, so that could be nice. Distressing People coming down means we're probably seeing a tribute. Yep, here we go. Okay, so yep, he does. Yeah, the negating neutrals is important here. Negating color guard. You can see that line going through Jeremy's head. And Distressing People now coming into play. Distressing People is not a thief, so won't be able to use any enhancement. Joseph will be able to choose Distressing People, and he could do Gabriel to Joseph, or maybe Gabriel to Zacchaeus is maybe more likely. However, we do know that Jared has grapes in his hand, so gotta make sure that Complacent stays active. Don't think there's anything that Jared could do to turn that off right now, so that's good. John coming down. Yeah, I mean, if Jeremy can make an attack with, you know, Gabriel, Bantu, Zacchaeus, or Joseph, Gabriel can negate Den of Thieves. Then he can choose the blocker, maybe land a Resurrection, maybe land some other good dominance, the Son of God, Second Coming, get those out of the way. He would have to negate Nazareth, I suppose, for Second Coming to work. But, and the fact that Jared had Second Coming before he put down Nazareth is just crazy. So many good dominance right away. Haven't seen a woes from Jared yet. I wonder if he's hanging on to that or just hasn't found it. But that would definitely be a game changer if he's able to woes a Complacent before battle or something like that. But yeah, so here comes Gabriel. Negating an evil card. I could see Sheol being a reasonable target here so that he doesn't get the add to battle potential. But Den of Thieves also decent if, I don't know. Sheol is probably more likely, I suppose. Oh. Okay. So Plunderers is being chosen. Huh. Alright, Jeremy, what you cooking here? I mean, so if he has Resurrection, he's going to be able to abandon John and Zacchaeus, and he can just take out Plunderers that way, so maybe he's saving Distressing People there. Okay, I didn't even realize that. Distressing People negates Lost Souls in his own territory, so that takes care of Color Guard. That's pretty neat. So I suppose Gabriel probably negated Plunderers then, so that Jared wouldn't be able to band. So let's see. Jeremy is now at 13-15, so it's definitely Jared's initiative. Not preventing the next, not letting him band, but he does have Sheol available. What other enhancements does Jared have left? I mean, we know he's played Hypocrisy, but he's still got Seized by Babylon. He's got Purloin, Hurling Insults, and Wages all available. And Wages is not going to do anything through Nazareth, except maybe, you know, he could use it just to discard a hero in battle, but surely Jeremy's got to have a plan for that. Okay, so either Sheol or Den of Thieves was being negated, and Jared does end up banding to Condemned Thief and gets to take an enhancement from Jeremy's hand. Huh. I'm not gonna lie, guys, I'm confused. If anybody knows why Jeremy picked plunders, let me know. I mean, we might find out in a moment here, but it seemed like a bold move. Like, I feel like negate shield, choose distressing people is a lot safer. A little more guaranteed, but alright, looks like Untouchable is being taken here. I mentioned that Jeremy could land a Resurrection or something here. That wouldn't work through Complacent either, so. So Jared now has Untouchable 3, 11, 13. So it looks like it is Jared's initiative straight up. Right? No? Was it stalemate? $11, 13. 5 plus 8 is 13, right? Alright, I'm a little bit confused there, but he's 8-3 on the Meek side, so when he converts to Meek, he's in plus the 5-12. So I think Jeremy had 13 attack there, and Jared should have had 4 plus 9, 13 toughness. So I'm not sure what happened there exactly. If they thought that it was a stalemate. I don't know. But there looks like Jeremy ended his turn, passed to Jared here, and we'll see if Jared's able to finish things off here. Going for number 5 this turn, puts a Peter in play. And yeah, I mean, Jeremy's defense doesn't seem to be showing any sign of showing up here. So unless he's got a falling away for this Simon real quick, it's not looking great. So David, Jehoshaphat coming in from hand. He's bouncing the Distressing People, which he can do because because Color Guard is negated. If Distressing People wasn't negating Color Guard, or Resurrection Revealer wasn't negating Color Guard, then he actually would be protected from bouncing Distressing People in his territory with Jehoshaphat, because it's opposite alignment. Kind of funny, but alright, Jehu coming in. Choosing a discard target. I'm curious if he actually... Okay, so he does target one of them. I was thinking, like, maybe he doesn't even target one of the evil characters in Jeremy's territory so that he could choose Priest of Zeus to block, because now... You know, now he has to have Goliath block, which would kick out everybody but David. So yeah, I think Jared, I mean, maybe there it would have been better just to discard one of his own dudes, or not ban Jehu at all, but you do still want the hand or territory discard with Jehu, so. Jehu exchanging to Peter, who I assume will be banding to Simon, probably. I don't know. He is converting Peter to Meek. A little bit of a... I don't know, a little bit of an interesting choice there. I mean, he can't play anything from deck because of Nazareth. So I think maybe he just wants the Clay Brigade as the option there, because he does have Jeremy's Untouchable. Plus Love One Another, I guess, triggers off of Meek Heroes, I think. He has to Love One Another from Jeremy as well. So yeah, meat clay cards. Bans to Simon, negates Lost Souls. So dominants are available now, but he does choose Goliath to block. Goliath kicks out everybody but David, and now it's David versus Goliath. Goliath has initiative, and Jeremy has to discard an evil card from hand or territory, which would just be hand now at this point. I guess that would maybe be a reason that Jeremy played Three Woes as good, and not evil, is that evil would probably have to be discarded somehow, or somehow, some way. And yeah, it looks like just Grapes came down, but he picked it back up. I think didn't realize that he was going to have to discard or something. Maybe I don't know. Something there. Either way, Jeremy did not have a way to stop. Jeremy here, he had looks like all the fools in hand, or no, he's just getting them out from deck, and none of them came out naturally with star abilities. So yeah, brutal 5-0 victory from Jared here, just cleaning up. Dang, that was crazy. I mean, like, I think the writing was a little bit on the wall after the first turn that we saw Jared have, but I think Jeremy's deck just didn't quite show up the way he was hoping, especially with the Fools here. Like, he had to manually give one of the Fools with Tribute, and didn't have the Satan's Seat to get around the protection. He just had to, he was playing on the back foot at every point throughout the game here. So it was definitely a little bit difficult there for Jeremy to try to mount a comeback. And the minimal defense that he was playing, at least minimal enhancements, definitely was not working for Jeremy to get blocks against this defense. And really, his deck isn't set up to get blocks. I think Hendrix pointed that out in the chat. Like, the idea is maybe to get one cheese block here and there, but just to rely on having these pseudo guaranteed rescues by just choosing Fools to block and having enough pieces to support that by negating protect stuff, negating some territory stuff, like any add to battle stuff like shield kind of have to worry about. But other than that, if you're able to answer some of the other like neutral cards and also characters in territory, and then also having complacent out to stop the down blocks, then this deck is very strong. I can see why it got Jeremy this far, assuming that he had a fairly or assuming that he was using the same deck more or less throughout the whole thing. But yeah, that was just a stellar performance from Royalty. What do you call it? Royalty Taxes here. Jared's deck that just kind of came out with one speed, and that was go on turn one. Yeah, let's get some likes on the stream. I'm with you there. Got my hype man over here. Yeah, I mean that there was it was cool to see Jared's deck in action and to have the excitement of Jeremy maybe being able to mount that comeback with the big herdsman block on turn one. But really, I mean, the power of Matthew plus Nazareth is yeah, that's just hard to come back from, even when you do get that herdsman. Yeah, looks like Jeremy's putting out some of the stuff he had in his hand that was just not able to work through Nazareth. Delivered, Crowd's Choice, Second Coming. So Jeremy definitely would have gotten to 2 there at least if Nazareth wasn't out, if he had a way to deal with that. So maybe he's thinking about whether or not it was the right choice to Goliath Curse the stable instead of Nazareth. I mean, he maxed out his hand on that play, so I think that made sense. But the fact that he wasn't able to turn that into a rescue was a little brutal. Yeah, I don't know. I assume he's playing Resurrection in here, right? Yeah. Yeah, Resurrection. Okay, so in addition to Complacent, he's playing Resurrection, which, I don't know, I guess he can use 3 woes to deal with it. I'm just trying to think of like reasons to like any other reasons to do that. I don't know. He doesn't have any fortresses for Resurrection. Like, Complacent is definitely very good with the choose the blocker stuff, just to stop the dom blocks from getting around when you're blocking them off of enhancements more than likely, just because they're probably not going to have a matching brigade most of the time. And if you can lock them out of dominance too, then it's almost a guaranteed rescue. And so maybe if Complacent is out and is doing that work, then Resurrection is fine. But I don't know, I guess it's the turn 1 potential, right? Got Resurrection Revealer in here. Yeah, I don't know. Messengers of... Oh, that's kind of cool. Okay, so Resurrection Revealer, if you have Messengers of Joppa, then you can search for Resurrection, play it. You can put Peter into play with Resurrection, and then ban in Messengers. Messengers can tutor up Matthew, ban to Peter, and then Peter can ban to Matthew. So it's kind of just another way to have. I can show you Messengers here. Another way to have Matthew off of Resurrection early on. Like, you want to be able to search for Resurrection since you're not guaranteed to draw into it with Matthew, even though the odds can be good a lot of the time. But yeah, it's a cool little tech there, Messengers. But I don't know, I just don't know if Peter's necessarily like want to go for him right away if I'm not trying to get a fortress out. 4 drachma coin, I guess, is good reason, but But I think that is where we're going to wrap things up. I think they're still having a little bit of post-game analysis here, talking about what could have or should have or would have been if they had done something differently. But yeah, I think definitely some things to learn from this game, learn from Jared's deck. I think that has some... there are definitely some threats in here that you gotta watch out for. I mean, it's kind of combining like some of the best stuff from recent decks. We've got the toss and draw and whatever from all the power from Disciples, and all the stuff from kind of years past of like the hand control with Circus and Jehu and all that. So definitely some good stuff. Glad that they were willing to let me live stream. Thank you all for watching, and that's where we're gonna wrap things up for today. So, yep, thanks guys, and we'll catch you all later.